Sorry, good morning, hi. Let me try to get everything completely set up because we are not 100% there yet. I don't know if you can see it or if you already noticed, if you have seen the latest video. Changed a lot of stuff around here and my first stream since then, so still getting there again. So for example, the lighting is completely different now, which I will have to optimize again because I don't like it that much. I'm looking so old. Okay, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for being here. I have to still start the music, but I think then that we are more or less there. Hey Cyril, thank you for coming. Hey Shakira, welcome. Where is my music? There. And the microphone is far too far away. I have to get it closer. You will hear me better in a second. But one thing at a time. So that has to. I have to put that on the. Yes. Yes. Okay. So we have it on the earphones. You should be able to hear it. Microphone over here, and you should be able to also hear me better again. Okay, so although I have to still have to figure this all out. Picture will be back in a second. I just destroyed everything. Okay, so microphone should be all right. This has to be more. Let me see. It's a bit. The setup is not ideal still. I have my PC now right between my legs, so that is not very comfy. I think you see me well enough. The issue is if I put it more towards the paper, you will see a lot more. Wait, can I even move the camera? Yeah. So you see more of my camera for the picture, but I think we can work like this. There will be changes anyway in the future, but this is how we start. Okay, so where is my pens are too far away. I have to get the pens closer. So there is my beloved 2B. It is not sharpened yet, so that's the first order of business. Okay, so now I also see. I will not be drawing all the characters of Ragnarok. I was just drawing Hela, and I was just thinking about Jeff Goldblum. I've seen he has this series at the moment. Or it's already old, I guess. I think on Netflix. About what's called Jeff Goldblum's. How Jeff Goldblum sees the world or something. I don't know. He's just a real character. He's just so interesting. He's a character, so I really wanted to try to draw him, and I am toying with the idea to include a little bit of color in this one because he has this blue makeup underneath his eyes and this strip here. I might get adventurous and try that, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm not happy with anything in this setup yet though, so but we will manage. You can see everything how it should be. I don't, but that's my problem. We'll manage. Okay, let's start. Let us start. Hey, Liana. Welcome. So, but how do we start? We start by... Where's my measurement stick? I really have to be... I hope it is now... Well, okay. Moving picture. As long as it moves, it is alive. Okay, so let's start. We have a chin somewhere here, and we have hair that ends. Wait, I don't see it completely on my. We have hair that ends somewhere. Oh, this is terrible. Let me unplug the phone camera thingy. Does the whole time lose the connection to the PC because I don't know, something went wrong with the cable or something, and it always loses connection and regains connection, and that is the noise you're hearing. But it works over Wi-Fi, so I can just deconnect it and hope that my battery survives. So if we have the chin around here and we say the hair ends here, then we can say that's not easy. I have to change a lot here still. Somewhere here, I would say somewhere here the hair ends, and then we have fourth of thumbs or something like this. No. This will be not really correct, but let's put him a bit more into the middle. Something around here. I'm using too much real light. You see the not clean window here in the light. Let me see if I can get that a bit more uniform for you. Yeah, I think that's better. Less natural light makes it better. So I would say something like this. I don't know about you, but always when I put those proportions in there, height of the face and width of the face, I feel like that this can't be right. The width always seems not wide enough. That's one of the things that made my Thor picture so that he looked a bit meatier later, because I just overcompensated for that effect. Yes, sir, that is music from it's Spotify playlist. It is stream beats, so there is always the issue if you put videos on the internet that you have to be careful what you use, of course. Copyright. what music you use and everything. It makes it quite complicated. And there is this guy, what's his first name? His last name is Heller. He created stream beats exactly for the purpose that you have music that you can use in streams without worrying about copyright and if you are even allowed to do it. There is a lot going on right now, for example on Twitch, where they are a lot of companies suing for people to remove their content, because even if there's only a little bit in the background music that is licensed, like something, you know, from radio or something that people want to make money with, they can say, no, you are not allowed to use that, you have to take that down. So if you are creating content and you do not even want to be worried about anybody saying at any point in time, no, this you cannot use it, then you have to be careful what kind of music you take. And I should be able to see his name in the Harris Heller. I always forget his first name. So he's making a couple of playlists that you can just use, and he's expanding right now. I think he even is working on a Christmas playlist or something with Christmassy music that is totally safe to use in streams and videos. That's a great thing to have. You have to learn to trust the stick. I'm not sure that I have to, though. The stick has led me wrong in the past, although it doesn't make sense, right? If you measure something, that should always be more trustworthy than just your perception. Perception can be wrong. Measurements should always work. But well. Hey Chrisel, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining today. So, we do not really have a ooh, that's not good. Okay, I could erase it. So we do not have a really clear line down here at the chin. It was just more or less the helper line here. So let's not commit to a line down here. He is not the young Jeff Goldblum we know from Jurassic Park, for example, anymore. So there is a little bit of more or less definition in that area. Okay, so where do we put the elements of the face? Because I think the outline looks nice. We have a kind of a better start than we had with Halo. That's not necessarily a good thing, but I think I have now enough examples for both sides. In the beginning, always when I said, oh, this is a good start, I knew that in the end I would panic and it would not be like I wanted to. But now I have enough examples also for the other way around, that I don't have to start and panic right now. So the thing with Ragnarok, the Thor movie, I really enjoyed it. It is so funny. It is perhaps a little bit too funny. I think most people that do not really like it say it is too funny. That argument can be made, but I really enjoyed it. But the trouble is, you have two amazing villains, the Grandmaster and Hela, which when I now for my video, for the YouTube time-lapse video, when I looked at the citations of her that I can use for the interview, that showed me again how really amazing she played it, Cate Blanchett played her, and how fun that character is. But they both do have a limited screen time because it's one movie and they are in different locations and they do not work together, and so it is two amazing villains, totally underutilized if you ask me. But well, we have two amazing villains. There are worse things you can complain about. No amazing villain, for example. Look at Justice League. Music is gone. I think I fell into the trap once before. I think there is actually a long pause before the next song. Yeah, there is. Okay, so let's try to place the eyes. Let me try to find some kind of somewhere here. So on halfway here. This is so somewhere here. Does the eye have to be? I think he has very big eyes. That looks pretty believable. How is it with? It's just very slight uptick. It's just very slight, something like this. So what have I missed? I love Jurassic Park. My ringtone is the same ringtone as the satellite phone in Jurassic Park 3. I have no regrets. But I think I have a standard ringtone right now. I should have something cool like that. We have somebody running around here that totally reminds me of Dennis Nedry, that technician in the first movie that sold them all out and helped the dinosaurs escape and everything. And he's in another Pokemon Go team than I am, so we are constantly fighting for supremacy. We have to move forward. I would just place eyes here, how I think looks somehow believable, and we will correct that as we go along. I think I need a new eraser, or I should net it a little bit. This is a satisfying thing. Look, I love it. And this gets really, see those, a little bit like spider webs actually, but good spider webs, if there is something like that. I covered my ears. I heard nothing about the two villains other than there was two villains. I did not really talk anything about the story, so that is completely fine. I did not spoil anything. When this person comes up, you know exactly who this person is and what this person is about. So there is no surprise there. Just that he plays so fun. And Hela, when you look, that's the difference. You look at Hela and she does not look like a villain at all. But the other way around. You see villain. She screams villain. She looks like a villain. She acts like a villain. Everything about her is villainy. And then you have the Grandmaster. And he's the opposite. He's bubbly, fun. But there is no surprise there that he's not the nice guy in this movie. So, no spoilers. Will I also guess the nose and stuff, or will I measure? I will try to measure. But Jeff, you are not very kind to my measurements. The nose is not half. His face is not very typical. The proportions are not very, at least in this picture. You have always the angles that he's looking in, of course, but still, I stand to this statement. Jeff Goldblum's face is not very regular, not a typical face. It's not a bad thing. It's probably served him well throughout his career. I have to say, I think he aged very gracefully. If you look at older movies like Jurassic Park or The Fly, even The Fly, I have to lean more to this side, right? But that leads me even farther away from my tablet I have here. And I try to certain information where to put stuff. That's quite a nose. Let's try to place the mouth. Just give Joss Whedon a lot of money and make him start a new DCEU. Well, we like Henry Cavill, don't we? I like Henry Cavill. So, and I really like Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. I like her very much. She's very, very good Wonder Woman. She's very strange in interviews, but she's very good Wonder Woman. So if he restarts, he would have to reuse a lot of the actors, at least to make me happy. But so the lower lip ends at exactly half, so that is pretty typical. Okay. But it is strange to reuse actors, if you ask me. If you restart a universe. I have not even watched the movie with Harley Quinn, and I'm still already confused that movie has the same actress, but is supposed to not be in continuity with, you know, what's his name? Suicide Squad. I have a goal to watch 1 or more Marvel movies a day, and I'm up to Avengers Age of Ultron. Ooh, that is already quite a progress. Slowly making my way down the list. Yeah, there's still a lot to go though. Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot are both amazing. Yes. Flash and Aquaman are also great. Yes, I am more happy with The Flash than I thought I would be. Truth be told. and he was underutilized. Actually, most of the time they are using their comic relief characters too much. Disney is pretty perfect in the amount of how to use them, but in most movies, comic relief characters are overused. I think in Justice League it would have made the movie much more better and lighthearted if they had used Barry Allen a bit more for the comic relief. I don't care so much about Cyborg. Cyborg is okay. Cyborg is... Well, he is no Black Panther. That's for sure. But I'm not sure how much you could do with that character and that role, truth be told, without having it introduced in its own movie. And I'm not sure that it would have worked as its own movie. I know it's unpopular, but I think Ben Affleck makes a really good Batman. He was really, yeah, I was not unhappy. I was actually more, I was surprised by my level of disappointment when he quit. So he must have done a pretty okay job. Okay, so we have the general actors of his face defined where they should more or less be. So we can start with a little bit of first shading to see if it all holds up. If we add a little bit of shading to the single areas to get them to connect a little bit more, we can find out if we are on a good way to achieve a face that we believe that it is a face. For that I would just put in a couple of shaded areas that feel to me like they help us with that. The lighting is not the most straightforward, easy lighting that we have here. By the way, thanks to everyone from the last stream. It was, I think, my most successful stream yet. And I was talking, I probably spent too much time talking about how small YouTubers are really reliant on word of mouth and watches the viewers to really advertise for them, because YouTube just doesn't. Because they advertise and push those that have proven to them that they can be successful. And if you're not over 1,000 subs, you have not proven that yet to YouTube. But I had, I think, 4 new subscribers after the stream. So thanks to all of you for pushing that. That was amazing. I was really happy. And it is true. if you have other smaller YouTubers you like, we're all dependent on spreading the word via Facebook, Twitter, whatever. Let me. How is it called, Petra? Liana, how is it called? Sorry. Schneidersitz in English. I'm usually a complete sucker for Bruce, Diana, so the subtle flirting is what got me. Yeah, it was. I also think that it's the best pairing. There are, depending on the Earth and timeline and whatsoever, there are other pairings like Superman and Wonder Woman, but that one I always hated. Superman and Lois Lane, they belong together. There is nothing that should replace that. Nothing. And Superman and Wonder Woman is just wrong. It is the right pairing for those universes where Superman turns evil, because then it's just all about power. Let me put in the irises. This looks very creepy. I don't want anyone to get nightmares on my account. Okay, so he really has big eyes. That makes his irises. No, iris is in the middle, right? What's this called? Is this the iris? I'm out of. I had biology as a major course in school, so I should know. Oh, I ordered, by the way, white gel pen to help with the highlights. Perhaps I have it for the next stream. I can use it already. Test it. So if I mess up the highlights in the eyes, I can just use the white gel stick to not fake them. It's not faked. It's real drawing, but I can repair mistakes. Let's call it that. Lois and Clark, yes. I loved the series, but I look like this is bad lighting. I look like I have the I look younger this way. I need, has anybody tape? No tape here. Well, you have to live with it. I loved the Lois and Clark series. Love. But Liana, did you know that without wanting to discuss this at all, but Dean Cain is a very vocal Trump supporter? At least he was. I think he has changed his position a little bit since the 2016, or he got quieter. But he was a big Trump supporter back in the day. So eyebrows will also help with a little bit more resemblance. I'm always using these words. Why am I still searching for them? Should have a cheat sheet pinned to the camera with a couple of words on there. So the shaders are really interesting in this one, but also quite challenging. Because this darkness that you always have around the eyes and underneath the eyes, this is especially dark in this area, but it goes also all the way across the nose, highlighting this a little bit wider nose ridge. And yeah, all the way down here. So something like this. And we still have to decide how far we go with the shading. How dark and everything. The question we always have to answer. Yeah. Exactly, that's what I also thought. Okay, so my dear Jeff. I adore him. I adore Jeff Goldblum. He is just so crazy. He's so strange. He's so individual. Don't know how to say it differently. He's just special. He's special. Very special. He just is as he is. And there were a lot of scandals about people that were just universally adored in Hollywood. If there was any kind of scandal about him like that, that would really hurt me. I want him to be this strange, amazing guy. I think he is. He's just so pure. He's a kid. If you watch this show on Netflix, his show on Netflix, he has the soul of a child. And I love that. It's just amazing. It's just fun to watch him move, to listen to him talk. It's just fun. But I have to say, I love the Grandmaster, but the Grandmaster is basically Jeff Goldblum. He did not really play that big of a role there. That I have to say. But you cannot go wrong with Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum. It's like with Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is such a lovable guy, but he always plays Tom Hanks somehow. Not always, probably, but you know what I mean. Exactly. We need some illusions about people. Why have I done this? I have now darkened it all without any regards whatsoever to light points. Too much gushing about Jeff Goldblum here. There's my smartphone. I would check for if I get the gel pen in time. We will consider the light here actually. But in the other one I have already lost. I will use my gel pen, which I hope should come today or tomorrow. Okay, so I love Tom Hanks. I've never watched a movie he's been in that I didn't love. As I said, he is just so adorable also. But he seldomly plays really challenging roles that are completely different than he is. He played Tom Hanks on an island. He played Tom Hanks on an airport. He also played, I think if I'm not mistaken, a slightly more annoyed Tom Hanks that tried to catch that guy from Titanic, you know. Doesn't mean the movies aren't great, that he didn't do a good job, because those characters were believable, but just doesn't look like it was that challenging for him. Darkening the white in the eyes always looks wrong if you haven't taken care of the other stuff around the eye yet. I've always to look. That's when I disappear on the left side. I have to look around the stand where the light is on, because it is right in front of my template. It is not the smartest setup yet. I have never seen Polar Express. I also never was tempted to watch Polar Express, to be truthful, because there's nothing that really tempted me to watch it. The title, I'm not that big with trains. I'm not that big with Christmas movies. I'm not that a fanatic fan of Tom Hanks. Never really was tempted. Love Actually. I rewatched that one a couple of days ago. I love that movie. I love every single story that is told in that. It's just so and funny too. But there is another example of actor that most of the time plays himself. Other different sides of oneself. How's his name? Tell me. You know who I mean. The Prime Minister in... What's his name? He's famous. Notting Hill. Bridget Jones. Diary. There he plays quite arrogant, but I think he can be arrogant. And he plays this... lovable, down-to-earth, easygoing guy that I think he can also very well be. We don't know them at all. We have no idea if they are. Tom Hanks could be an evil, evil mastermind in real life and just always play this really nice role, and that would make him a genius. But you never know. Fifth Tom Hanks movie is definitely The Green Mile. Why? That's again one of those movies where you have a book. Although I have to say, I have read a couple of Stephen King books, and I might be alone with that impression and that opinion, but I don't like him that much. I like the stories. It's kind of like a Tolkien deal. But he always writes very different. I have not read 2 books of him where I say, okay, this is a typical... They are similar. It's a typical style or something. They read very different if they are written by a different author. Green Mile was this multiple part book, right? I read them and they were pretty good. I don't remember the movie that much, honestly. I perhaps should rewatch it. I force you to watch the Marvel movies, Chuck, so perhaps I should rewatch Green Mile. But it is a change of pace, yes. Hugh Grant, thank you very much. Exactly, that is the one. He is very... I was very surprised that he didn't have a role in Harry Potter. Every single UK actor I felt like had a role in Harry Potter. Perhaps he comes. Johnny Depp doesn't have the role of Grindelwald anymore, right? I think the next movie, there should be one, right? Has to have another Grindelwald. Perhaps that is... there would be a change of pace for Hugh Grant if he played Grindelwald. I might have to rewatch it, Chuck, because for me it always was in the category book turn movie. I have seen it. I know I have seen it, but honestly, I have very bad memory, which is sometimes a good thing. If I love a movie and haven't seen it for 2 years, I can watch it as if it's the first time. It can be a good thing. But I don't remember. It is not a big criterion in terms of quality that I'm saying that. I do not mean it as a criterion of quality about that movie. But I don't remember Green Mile at all. I remember that that big guy that also played Kingpin in the abysmal Daredevil movie. That guy is playing the inmate, if I remember correctly. I think he did. That guy is pretty cool, and I like that character in the book. I don't remember it at all, also the book. It's just that I remember that I like the character in the book. It was a very heartfelt story. So that much I remember. I don't remember any details, neither from the book nor the movie. I'm actually looking forward to find out if memory is one of the things that gets better after my treatment. I love it because that I read, it's a sad day when you have to come to me for names. Well, you can Google them at least right now. I cannot. This is my phone. I cannot Google. I could Google on the PC, but I'm supposed to draw for you guys, so I cannot Google it right now. So even if you don't remember them, you can at least Google them for me. You know? very slow progress, but I feel a bit slow today, so I hope you're all right with that. Anyway, I feel like I should take a bit more time sometimes with my pictures. Anyway, you guys are professional copyright lawyers, aren't you? Any one of you idea if I would make something like a t-shirt or something with a Pokemon, for example, on it for my nephew, because he is just so crazy about Pokemon. Is that a video I can put online? Because I'm not selling the Pokemon, but is that breaking copyright law? Nobody knows, right? I have to research that. Because if that is an issue, I would honestly be surprised why so many channels are concentrating on Nintendo stuff. This looks very sad. I'm making a very sad Jeff Goldblum here. Just now, that was the first time I really looked at it now from a holistic perspective. And I was a bit negatively surprised. I know that you did not Google that, but you would be able to. That was the point I tried to make. My movie genre preference range from things like The Remote to other ones like It. The original or the new one? I tried to watch Star Wars though, and I didn't even make it through the first movie. Well, if it is the first Star Wars movie in terms of the first new Star Wars movie, I get you. I can understand that. If it is the other way, best you keep that to yourself. No, I totally accept if people don't like movies like that. Although the thing I get a kick out, I have rewatched all the Star Wars movies recently. Because I spend a lot of time on the sofa because I have to. But the thing that gets me every time I watch the old Star Warses is just, even if you just ignore the newfangled stuff that George Lucas has put on it with new effects and stuff like that. It is amazing what those movies did back in the day, also story-wise, because science fiction movies wasn't a thing back then. Didn't exist, and the what they just did in terms of that, taking a totally niche genre at that point in time so seriously to invest this much money, time and complexity, and therefore risk into a movie, that is something that fascinates me, I have to say. I'm not sure about the law, but Nintendo's exactly. Nintendo is extreme. So that's why I'm asking myself that question before I do something that is that becomes an issue. On the other hand, I am not monetized, so it does not really matter what I do at all. And if I'm monetized at some point and I cannot monetize this one video, would not exactly be terrible. Because I was thinking about doing a t-shirt or something. I've done some t-shirts in my day. And thought that could be a nice idea for Christmas. His lips are very strange. I blame the makeup artist for that. There is no hard line at all, so I should not draw it. Makes him look like a fish if I do. I have to say, I do not like the look, but I also have to say, you kinda see Jeff Goldblum already. So I'm really not happy about it yet, at all. It looks like a sad fish Jeff Goldblum, but it looks like a sad fish Jeff Goldblum. And this is the first layer, so there will be a bit of development there. Exactly, first movie, exactly my point, Diana. What you mean with first movie? Yeah, do not watch the prequels. Ignore the prequels, or look them as flashbacks after you've seen the original trilogy. Exactly, they are not that bad. What is bad is their midichlorians catastrophe. That is as bad as everybody says it is. But the movie, you can watch the movies. They're great actors. Not all of them. I'm looking at you here, Hayden Christensen. But he was supposed to play an annoying brat, and he did so. But Liam Neeson, we love us some Liam Neeson. Also very great in Love Actually. So it is a solid movie. Let's call it a solid movie. It was in the context a disappointment. The way I look at it is, at least I tried to watch it instead of saying I hate it without even trying to watch it. No, it does not count. If you really only tried Phantom Menace, I think is the first one, right? If you tried the first new one, you did not try watching Star Wars. Watch the fourth one. But first watch the Avengers. I will remind you after all of them comic movies. They are more important. Maybe Jeff Goldblum is a sad fish, you never know. Exactly. You never know. Well, the reptile people are under us. Perhaps he's a fish reptile people person. You never know. Okay, so let's try to continue. I have to look for other playlists of Harrisella of Stream Beats. This one I repeat too often. I also was surprised. Cate Blanchett seems to be a pretty often searched for person in YouTube videos. That speaks for the taste of all your YouTube viewers. More people found my videos via Cate Blanchett than Chris Hemsworth. That surprised me. Truth be told. So this is more or less the make or break moment for the color probably. Although I would just keep it anyway. I have to keep it pretty light. So I might be able to... I will decide later. I won't decide today. We can think about it until next stream. Will we use color for those stripes or not? Any opinions already? Anything I should take into consideration when I go trying to make my verdict? I was trusting my brother's advice, blame him, lol. Advice? Did he tell you to start with the first one? Noob. I instantly get why you have never told me about your brother before, Shuck. Doesn't seem to have very valid opinions. It was the old ones, but I think it was the fifth one. Fifth is right in the middle. That doesn't make any sense at all. Shuck, that does not make any sense. It was called a movie. It was called a movie, I guess. So we struggle with the stripe. I already know that I will struggle with that stripe. So we just leave it like this for now, so we know there is a strap and we can think about what to do with it. We can put in a general, what you call it, general shading, general darkness over this part of the face, and get to the nuances later. It starts to look okay, if you ask me. I certainly have already at this point in time such a good resemblance, which in part is, I think, because there is not really a beard or anything. Yeah, but not that bad. Not very happy about the blue light that comes from this side. Because I'm not sure how to translate that into black and white yet. But we will find out. As long as you guys are with me, I can do anything. Still looks like a sad fish, but sad fish Jeff Goldblum. Naja. I don't think I would do a Star Wars portrait. Thingy, season, whatever. I might do a Buffy one though. And I might do a Harry Potter one. Although I think drawing Hagrid, I need something like 1,000 subs for that before I draw Hagrid is my nightmare. This song reminds me always of one of my favorite movies. Dancer in the Dark. Terribly sad movie. Destructive movie. This destroys, emotionally destructive. I love it. I think this ear is about 3 sizes too big, or isn't it? I think we should measure. I don't want to measure. I just want to draw. The width of the eyes is more or less the width. It's okay, yay! The ear is not too big. Oh, somebody is at the door. It is the mail, I'm sure. I will be back with you in a second. Do I have break? Yeah. I'm back. But the music is not. Why not? Yeah, my doorbell had a guest appearance in my latest video. I don't hear anything. That's fun. I think you hear the music, right? Why don't I hear anything? Let me check if I can. Sometimes my smartphone just... Come on. Oh, I hate you. Just steals the headphones. Yeah, my smartphone stole the headphones. Okay, so Jeff, where were we? That was a package, but not my gel pen, unfortunately. I would have been able to, although I would want to use it at the end anyway. Well, let's continue. Okay, so Mr. Ear, we wanted to draw the ear. Let me make it a bit more. I have a movable table. Let me try to get the table a bit more ergonomically for me. Okay, so but that was a specific delivery service, so my pen could still come today. Okay, so welcome ear. We'll also get a general darker shading in the ear, and then we can work on getting the darker areas. And I actually am thinking about leaving that to the darker pencil directly. a little bit. Make sure that we have the contrasts clearly visible. No, okay. It is all very flat now, but that is by design. Don't you worry about that. We will continue with the forehead. That's the word. Mr. Forehead. So he has a quite worried expression, which makes for some interesting crevices where we can include. So that makes this one of the most interesting foreheads that I had the pleasure to draw yet. Normally they are very smooth and boring. My version looks sadder than the original. The original already looks a bit sad. I looked for a happy picture of him, and I did not find. I found one. I was not happy with that, but I did not find a high quality happy picture of him, which is so strange because this character is just so extremely happy all the time and bubbly. I don't get why there aren't any high quality happy pictures of him. Okay, so well, I think we are mostly done for part 1, aren't we? Although I should put in a bit more darker shading. We're actually not very far, but we already stream for 1.5 hours. That is a normal length for me. Let's go in with a little bit of a more darker pencil for a while. Have a little fun. Yes, I did not answer that, but yes, everything in the world means that you have to watch Buffy. It is the best series in the world, and it will always stay the best series in the world. But yes, you will suffer through, and you have to suffer through, no excuses, A couple of pretty awkward episodes, and especially in the first season. There are some awkward ones, but it's not as if you have a choice in that matter. Bits and pieces are not the same. It's just it's just about the continuity and the Buffyverse as it is. As I said in the beginning, you have a couple pretty awkward episodes. That you just have to suffer through. But the world that opens up after even a couple of the first episodes, and at the latest during season 2. And the first season is 11 or 12 episodes, so it's a very short first season. It's just... It's just... Can you still see me? I'm moving around a lot with this right now. I've watched a couple of other channels lately, and a lot of people just post videos like I'm doing them and call them how-to videos. Not sure if that is fair. Of course, they are found that way a lot easier because a lot of people are looking for how-to videos. What do you guys think? Do you think I could call my videos how-to? How to draw Jeff Goldblum? I am not sure. Perhaps if I then they normally do not even have any kind of comment track about what they are doing, so I wouldn't feel good doing that. Guys, I think this is the exciting part right here. It gets a lot of character right now. I might have to continue now. Added to the list? What do you mean? So Buffy, okay. Yes, added to the list. Problem is that Buffy is not on any streaming service. And if it is, be careful if you get somewhere. Actually, you should look for the SD version if you find any kind of HD version for it. Be aware that that is a very effed up version in terms of, for example, lighting, because they to get it to HD, they took very old recordings that weren't even color correct or anything, and they did not put any effort into it. They just barfed it out. So there are in every episode, as far as I have read and heard, they have mistakes in terms of day and night, because the series often takes a scene and just makes it dark for being night, and all those color corrections are not in the HD version, so sometimes it's just daylight in a nighttime scene. That's what I heard, at least. I would be interested in seeing at least the quality, how it improves. I would like to see that HD version, but if you're a first-time viewer, be at least aware of that if you find an HD version to watch. I mean, I would count this as showing us how to do it. All people would have to do is follow the stream, but most people want a quick way to do it rather than put the time to make something awesome. Yeah, they are actually naming their time-lapse videos like that, you know. Some people are taking their time-lapse videos and just call them how-to videos. And there are some kind of videos where that works with acrylic or something, so that sometimes works. You see where they put the colors. Sometimes they even write the color names on there. So and I do not say everybody, or I don't know, most or whatever, but I found a couple of channels which take a regular time-lapse video and just call it how-to. I'm not so happy with that. Though they get all the views, because that is a keyword that's watched for. I think I don't even have how to in my tags, because I felt bad putting it in there. You can't even see the tags if you're not using some special browser plugins or whatever. I just spit on my picture. I don't believe it. I tell you, I am getting happier with this one. Yeah, buy it on DVD. That's right. That's the best. Unfortunately, that is still the best way to watch it. It is not even 16 to 9, but it will also be, at this point in time, it should be quite inexpensive to get it. And you can decide after, I think, after season 4, I think, there's the Angel series. You can decide if you want to also watch that, because there are some crossovers. It's not really required, but it is pretty cool to see the crossovers. And Angel has more letdowns. The series is not as good, but it also, especially with when all the cast arrives and everything, it gets pretty intense also. So it is also definitely worth a watch. But I might stop now soon, as far as I'm ahead, so that we start next time at a point I feel confident with. Still a lot more contrast that we have to bring into it, but we're at a good point. We have already reached a certain level of recognizability. Just have to fight to not lose it anymore. But as always customary, when I have finished and taken a step back and look at it again, I will find a lot of things I'm unhappy with. But that's just how art works. I think we will leave it at that for today. So there has to be a lot of shadow still here. The ear is too light, and also still a lot of general contrast work we have to do, a little bit of context in the clothes, just that they aren't there. I will not go too much into detail there. Hair, of course. The decision of color or no color? Probably no color. I have to be truthful. Let me be truthful. Probably no color, but you can come next time and try to convince me to use color if you want to. So for these stripes here anyway, not the whole one, obviously. Yeah, but that would be it. As always, this was part 1. Part 2, the day after tomorrow, if everything works out. Same time, more or less. And this will be turned into a timeless video that will be released on Monday, just like the Thor one that I released yesterday. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks everybody for joining me today. Shakira, as always, you also have to go to bed now. So thanks for staying up. Liana, thank you very much for being here. After season 3, in parallel to season 4, yeah. Yeah, and the effects are really bad. That's also true. Good. Thank you very much for joining me. I had a lot of fun. I hope you too. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and give me a like, and everything else you have heard 1,000,000 times by now. Thank you very much for joining me today. See you soon. Goodbye.